In today's video, I am showing off how to use properties in Godot using the Jenova extension. Jenova allows you to use C++ as a scripting language within Godot, and properties are the menus and tabs you see on this side of the screen, which allow you to control variables attached to the node. So to get started, I have this simple scene with a character, a cube, and then this static body that you can fall on. So if we see, we fall, and we can run around, and there's this cube. So what I want to do is I want to add a script to the cube, which first allows us to print a value that would be based on this right here. So let's go to our cube class, create a new script. We don't want to create a GD script, we want to create a C++ script, create, and then I want to go editor, export to Visual Studio, open in Visual Studio. Okay, so now we're in Visual Studio and we have our code here. So the way we create a property is after our Jenova script begin, we want to type Jenova property. Then the first parameter we take in is a variable type, so I'll do a double. The second is the variable's name, so we'll do print value. And the third is the default value, so let's do 50. Just like that. And then in our onReady, all I want to do is type output. The printed value is, and then %lf, and we'll do print value, semicolon, and so let's go back to Godot. It will ask us to reload from disk, save this, then we build the solution, and it built successfully. So let's go to our scene here, and if we run it, we see that the print value is set there. We will get printed value is 50 right here. But if we wanted to, we could modify this instance of the cube and let's set the value to 24. And all we have to do is save, and we can run it again, and the printed value will be 24. Alright, so that's something very basic we could do with the property, but let's do something more advanced. So I want to create a material from Godot and then assign it to another node in the scene. And I want to be able to pick the scene and what node we're modifying and what the material is like. So the first thing we have to do is come up here and include Godot classes mesh instance 3D. And this is because the cube is a mesh instance 3D, and we'll use this to get a reference to cube. And the other one I want to do is include Godot classes standard material 3D, which is the material that we're going to be changing. Since we have those, before our start block, I want to go in here and create a reference to a mesh instance 3D, and I want to call this the other mesh, and let's set it to null pointer. And then down here in our properties, we'll create another Jenova property, but this time instead of using a standard C++ variable type, I will create a standard material 3D from Godot. And let's call this material replacement, and the standard value for this, we'll just have it be the default constructor for a standard material. Then we need one more Jenova property, which will be a node path, and we'll say this is the other node, and we'll leave this empty. Alright, so now in our onReady code, I want to first get a reference to the cube itself, which is a mesh instance 3D, and we'll call this node, and we'll use the get self function, which needs a mesh instance 3D, and then we'll pass an instance, which is one of the function parameters. And once we do that, then I will get a reference to the other node we want to use. So let's set other node, other mesh, because that's what we called it up here. We want to set this equal to get node of a string, which we want to use this node dot get path, not path, path. There we go. And then I want to say plus a slash plus material, or not material replacement. I want to do other node. So this will, and we of course have to do a mesh instance 3D. So what this will do is we'll get the path to the other node based on this node, or like the path using this node as the base for our other mesh. And then all we want to do from here is we want to go other mesh dot slash get set material override. And all we want to do here is do a reference to standard material 3D, and we want to do a reference to the material replacement we set up earlier. Once we save that, we can go back to Godot, reload from disk, check our script, and build it. And it says built successfully. So now if we go to our scene and we check our cube, we now have a print value, a material replacement, and another node. So let's create a new standard material, and let's give this a nice color. So let's go here and make it a purpley color. All right, so we do that, and then we can double tap on this to close it, and let's set the mesh instance on the floor as the node to replace. So if we save this and we run the code, you will see that the floor is now purple. And I didn't modify anything in the Godot editor in the scene. I didn't modify this cube's mesh directly or this cube's. This is all from properties and our C++ code. And the cool thing is, since these are all macros, I can go in here and change the color again. So let's make a orange color this time. So this, something like that. And I can just save, and then I can rerun the program, and the color updates instantly. I didn't have to rebuild the solution or rebuild the scripts. Now you may be asking, how do I set up Jenova in Godot as it's not part of the base engine? And if you want to know that, click on this video here where I explain how to install and set up Jenova plus a few simple examples. And until next time, see ya.